Project Cars is a good game with a silly title. How do you get this close to Project Mayhem and stop short of actually calling the game Project Mayhem? It's like an epidemic of bad driving game titles lately. First we get Drive Club, and then Project Cars. What's next? Insert random computer-generated non-offensive driving game title here. Wait a second, when did this game turn into Lord of the Rings? I love the music. It's so over-dramatic for a driving game. If you're not gonna give me disco, give me this. Although I have to slow down all the footage just to get extra dramatic. Hey, you know what this car could use? More rainbows. I don't have time to break, I'm driving right through you. So what do I like about Project Cars? The driving. What do I not like? The obvious lack of an El Camino and the title. And the fact that the game doesn't seem to have something to make the excellent driving really stand out. That sounds kind of weird, right? Like the driving alone should do it, but it doesn't. Project Cars and Drive Club actually have a similar problem, which is a lack of identity. Like, what makes this game really stand out? Because it's a good driving game. We're watching the PlayStation 4 version here. It looks spectacular. It sounds really good. It plays well. It's a challenging game. This one's not as approachable as Drive Club or Forza or Gran Turismo. But it's hard for me to tell you why it's a good driving game beyond just saying, well, it's a good driving game on a console. Like, it needs to lighten up or something. Put Van Halen on the soundtrack. Have Kratos as an unlockable character, give me a lava level, and cars with chainsaws, flamethrowers, and machine guns. You know, I'm not being serious, but actually I really am. Project Cars is highly customizable. You can tweak numerous settings to make it fit your style, and unlike a lot of the other console racing games, you don't earn money and buy cars, you get all the cars, and then choose how you race them. There's a career mode where you start out racing karts and then eventually work your way up to washing lettuce and cutting fries. The karts are tricky too. It took me a while to get out of the karts because they spin out real easy. If you don't want to go through that hassle, you can just choose whatever car you want, whatever track, and there's a ton of tracks. Choose the time of day, the weather conditions, your opponents, the difficulty. Pretty much whatever, and have at it. That's what the game does well. Sometimes you've got to drive around and crash into things just to see what happens, and sometimes you've got to do that in a video game too. Look what I did. I made a hatchback. If you really want to punish yourself, you can turn damage on, but you know, where's the fun in that? This has your usual complement of online racing, leaderboards, it's really got everything. What Project Cars lacks in personality, it more than makes up for with performance. It plays really well, it runs smoothly, there's a few bugs here and there, but, you know, not every game can be pole position. Here I am racing for Team Gentleman's Club. That's right, we're thinking the same thing. If you think it looks good here, it looks way better. In person, it sounds better in surround sound. You can adjust the difficulty to fit just your driving style. It's got everything it needs to be a good driving game except brand identity. Also, I miss the collecting car aspect of games like Gran Turismo, but if you can look beyond that, it's actually really good just being able to pick and choose what you want to drive, when you want to drive it, and then push yourself to memorize some of the new tracks, and why not even race your friends, why not? And as you might expect, I've got a Project Mayhem-sized classic game room shout-out and thank you to send to Kelvin. Once again from Cuba, Missouri. Thank you for sending Project Cars to the show. In conclusion, I highly recommend Project Cars. I've had a great time with it, but there's still room for improvement. So developers, if you're watching, take notes. I'm going to list some things I'd like to see in the sequel. The best of Classic Game Room is on DVD, Blu-ray, and Laser Hypervision album set.